It seems like there's a lot of first-time people here, which is fantastic. So I'd just like to kind of go through an exercise together, get to know you, and understand really why Innovega exists and the kind of thought process that our team has gone through to do what we're doing. So again, I'm going to ask people to contribute. Feel free to jump on, speak, put it in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. Would love to know people's various types of vision loss or the visual impairments of maybe someone that you know. What are people dealing with right now in terms of, potentially the condition, or just, daily troubles that you're going through. So feel free to put it in the chat. 4 times, Timothy. Wow. Welcome back. Appreciate you being here. Would love to know, does most people here have macular degeneration? Glaucoma is a big one that we deal with. RP, Stargardts, those are often common ones that we are encountering. Stargardts, thank you, Aaron. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'll share. This is Aaron. Yeah, I was interested because my eyesight's pretty bad. I mean, I can drive. I pass it. My doctor, lets me drive, so that's fine. But small things are hard for me to read. Like a computer I'm on right now is blown up.
Right,
On my phone, I have it on the biggest font. People say, "Damn, this is huge," but
right,
that's the only way I can see. But I can't get. They say glasses. They gave me some glasses for like a distance, but and then I tried the glasses with the distance and near vision. Those they're hard. They don't really work. But so basically, they're saying there's nothing they can really do about it. My eyesight, just uh, just stay healthy. There's nothing they can really do. But then I saw the thing that you guys have. I mean, you guys healed people that had, were blind or something. So this is seemed interesting, and that's why I want to see. And I had asked to see if I could go to your guys' place in San Diego and try a pair, just testing. But they said as of right now they don't have nothing. But that's the thing, my eyesight. I just can't do small things, and then like my left eye has that little what's that little circle thing the what do you call it thing that thing that's blocks the middle of your eye. I have that. So yeah, so I have that, but I got to move my eye around. And the right eye, I was getting these injections on my right eye like every 6 weeks, but they said it's getting a little better, so I don't got to go back for a couple months now because it's been a couple months since I got my last one. But I see the doctor, like, it was like every 6 to 8 weeks before. But like I said, glasses, it doesn't do nothing, So that's why I saw these, and that's let me try that because I see a bunch of stuff on the internet and stuff like that, but
right.
it's just, those could be it's not reliable.
Absolutely. I appreciate you sharing, Aaron. And you kind of mentioned many different things, which I will hope to address through this session. So thank you for sharing. And like I said, by the end of this session, I hope to address multiple of the different things that you've just said. And by the end of the session, if we don't, I'd love for you to come back and ask to me to dive deeper on something that you're still not clear on. So I think you've kind of really set up a lot of things that we are hoping to address for many people here in terms of what these actually do, who they're actually for, what they can actually help. And everyone probably can relate to a lot of what you're going through right now. In the chat, there is a ton of great albinism, X-linked retinoschisis, dry AMD, I'm not going to say nystagmus. Joe, can you pronounce that properly for me if you're here? Nystagmus. Um,
Nystagmus.
thank you. Thank you, Richard. Nystagmus. So fantastic. So there's all kinds of different conditions, right? So now as Aaron was kind of jumping ahead in terms of our flow, what are the tasks every day that people are struggling with most, whether big or small? Reading something, seeing something, recognizing someone. I would love for some people to jump on and just contribute kind of what things are really troublesome for you getting through the day.
Reading small print.
Thank you, Aaron.
What would be your number one thing?
Things to recognize people's faces.
Recognize people's faces. Thank you, Nancy.
Oh, I forgot we were on.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
we can hear it. Thank you, Randy, for the prompt. Anybody else? What are you struggling with currently right now?
This is
Reading.
Jim. This is Jim Harvey. I'm having a lot of trouble reading. My eyes, they're not working together anymore because of the different spots in the different areas. But when I look into refrigerator isn't too bad, but if I look into a cabinet looking for a spice, I have to have a flashlight. And anything that's dark, I don't see it very well. But I'm still getting around. I'm doing fairly well, but my detail is terrible.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Anybody else? I've got reading, print in the chat, faces, driving, glare. Recognizing faces and readings are a big one. Reading, print, small details. Like watching kids in sports. Thank you, Ronnie. We've heard that exact thing as well. Our grandkids watching TV. Anybody else want to share before we move on? And Aaron says night vision using a computer screen. Anybody want to jump on and share?
Yeah, from what I understand, from Nancy's vision, she says it's kind of like looking through frosted glass. It's just like it's not a focus issue. It's more of a kind of like a haze. It's like looking through a fog, and so everything gets washed out. And contrast is very, very important to her. In fact, we've got her computer screen set up for white on black instead of black on white. And so it drives me crazy, but I know the control keys to switch it.
Right. And again, Randy, I appreciate you sharing. And much of what you're sharing is very common for what we hear in terms of how people, everyone's condition has some sort of different impact, but the use cases and the ability to like reverse color inversion is actually a very common thing for the low vision community. What we're learning is a lot of individuals can see better when it's that white on black inversion. So that's a great segue kind of to the next portion is I'd love to know what people are currently using to address or to provide some benefit. So we've already had some individuals kind of suggest color inversion is a tactic to improve. Some people had mentioned large print on their computer screens is a tactic. What else are people using? Magnifiers, any other vision tech people have tried? I'd love to know using your phone in different ways. Would love to hear kind of what you are using that you find either beneficial or not very beneficial. And Joseph, you've got your hand up, so go for it. But you're on mute, just so you know. You're on mute, just so you know.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're perfect.
Okay, so up close, I just use like the little magnifier, like the little half dome, and then far away, I use like that little telescope thing that clicks in and out. But it's still so bad that I can't drive, and then even with it, I struggle in class and I struggle at work.
Right. So in the classroom, that's another common one. Thank you for sharing, Joseph. Appreciate you.
I,
Vo-
I, I, I use my camera like I take a picture of a page and then on
right,
my phone I just blow it up and I do
right,
that. That's probably the thing I do the most, even on my phone. Like if I want to read a text, if I'm at home, I just screenshot it and just I can blow it up and read from there.
right, Aaron. And that's something we hear really common as well. And then people are walking around with their phones in front of their face like this all day, trying to look at the photos blown in. Mary said vo more voice controls, day-to-day monocular telescopes. Stephen, how are the monocular telescopes working out for you right now? If you feel comfortable sharing. Okay, we'll move on. Feel free to jump on.
Yeah,
Envision,
Nancy pointed out a couple of apps on her phone that she uses. One of them is called Live Read, and the another one is Seeing AI. She
right,
uses those on her phone. But also another thing that we recently got um, at Sam, the blind guy, uh, he
MCV. Yeah.
yeah, Sam. See, he recommended this stand that you put your phone on. It's a little stand, and then there's a clip-on lens so that it stays in focus, and it holds your phone in a holds your phone at a certain distance from the paper, and so you can. It's real hard to hold the phone and move it up and down and all and follow the paper, but with this, it makes your phone like a magnifier that you can move around, change the magnification. It's very helpful uh, for Nancy. Oh, here's the device right here.
Okay.
It it folds up. It's got legs that fold out, and it magnetically connects to the back of the phone.
Right.
And,
Okay,
and
cool.
and you just set it on top of your paper. But then on most phones, they won't focus close enough. Some models do, but most phones won't focus close enough. So you have a little clip-on lens that makes it
Right.
focus. Anyway,
Can check the mail now with this.
yeah, she can read through the
Okay.
mail and different stuff, so it really helps.
Right. So reading the mail and issues with it is a big problem that we've constantly heard as well. Little things you don't think about until you're not able to do them so well. Thank you for sharing, Randy. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. Stephen, I see your mic is not working. I do see you're on mute. I'm not sure if unmuting yourself would help, but I do appreciate you sharing. The telescope is everything to you right now, but the tech has never moved on. So that's a great segue for us. We're going to move on because what we've just gone through is literally why Innovega exists, is that there's identifying a huge population of people with various vision loss conditions, identifying all of them, an incredible amount of tasks during the day that therefore people are struggling to get through, and then identifying, what technology and tools are available in the market now. And that, in many cases, it doesn't seem like a lot of those are progressing very well. And there's a lot of, for example, magnifiers have been around for a while. People are using their phones as tools, which aren't really built for that, but they do find them more effective than a lot of things out there. Someone mentioned they're trying. Greg mentioned trying the Envision glasses, but they're hard to set up. So there's been some, efforts to create digital powered vision technology, but it's not very widely adopted to this point. And from what we've learned is, either things are way too bulky and uncomfortable, you would never actually wear them, they're providing limited benefits, or it's just impossible to use. So with all of that, we figured that there is an opportunity to kind of utilize the most modern technology available. And we've kind of brought two executives on who brought the Apple Vision Pro to the market. And even though that wasn't a low vision tool, they know a ton about how to fit electronics, into wearables. And that's the biggest problem up until this point is the engineering challenge in order to do this. So we kind of have a bit of an advantage. So I'm going to show you guys a quick video on my screen. And I'm going to narrate it myself because audio playback through Zoom never works well. I'll also, because this is a Zoom session, it's going to be a little laggy. So I will share a link to this very same video, which does have a narration um, during the session. So this is what our approach is to resolve this crisis, if you will. And okay, so these glasses, this is the form factor that we'll be moving forwards with that we're having manufactured right now. Obviously, the main thing is to get all of those electronics into something that you can wear on your face, and won't bother you like a regular pair of glasses. For this very first Generation 1 launch, which we're now doing pre-orders for, there will be a cord that connects from the glasses themselves to a smartphone. And the reason for that initially, we are moving towards a fully wireless system in the future. But for right now, we're giving you a smartphone and we're giving you an external battery pack for the maximum battery life possible to make sure that these are hyper functional for you. And the app runs through the smartphone. So in the glasses themselves, there's a camera that's built into the very middle of the frames. That camera, when you turn the glasses on, is capturing exactly what you're seeing in front of you. And then when you turn them on, a display comes up, looks like it's a few feet in front of you. It's like a projection display. You can see through it, so you don't miss out on anything in your real environment. At the same time, it's playing back a video of your real environment in real time. And I want to just take a second here to say, everyone always asks, what's the difference between you and Meta or you and all of these other smart glasses? No one to date is playing back they have cameras to capture photos or videos and it goes to a cloud somewhere. No one is playing back your real-time experience in a way that now you can augment that to help you see and interact with the world in front of you more effectively. So there's different controls. So now let's dive into a couple different use cases. So say you're out and about and you're seeing someone at distance. I saw in the comments someone was saying they're struggling to see their wife. And that's, again, we've had many people come into our lab, sit across from each other, and they're not able to see, or the person with vision loss is not even able to recognize their loved one. So say you come across someone and you can't see them, they're just a blur. You can turn on the displays, the screen pops up, and now you can adjust what you're doing to try to better recognize them. You can zoom in or utilize other functionalities to try to recognize them a little better. Or say you're walking outside in a low light environment, you're coming to a crosswalk, you're not really sure what's happening on the other side of the street. Turn on the displays. You can adjust the brightness settings, for example, to better see the environment around you. Sorry, this is in the way. And like, oh, that was in the way. Until you can see the cross signal, for example. Again, super small things, but if you can't do them effectively, as you guys know, it has a huge impact on your life. Maybe you're in a restaurant trying to read a menu. I'm a sighted person and I cannot read many menus already as they exist. So say you're reading a menu and you're struggling with it. Turn the displays on, brings up the screen. You can use different features, again, such as magnification, color inversion, as we talked about earlier, contrast and edge detection to better pick up the menu items that you're looking at in front of you. Or say you're trying to watch TV, you're trying to watch a movie, and you're struggling to kind of you turn on the TV and everything's a little bit of a blur, which again we hear quite often. You can turn on the displays, adjust some of the different settings, whether it's color, whether you're in a low light environment, highlight, whether you need some magnification, whatever it is you need, and you can bring that color into view. And again, these are just graphic representations, so they're our best attempt to showcase the functionality of the glasses. They're obviously not exact. That's why it looks a little different each time. And just for, to how do you control all of these different settings? As you've seen in a lot of the videos, you can control everything directly through buttons right on the frames of the glasses for ease of use. And if you prefer, you can use the phone itself to run the app, change the settings. So it should be as easy as possible for anyone to utilize the functionality of these to find benefits in daily life. And again, the whole point is to give you a product that you can wear in daily life that will help you through your day and is easily wearable and just kind of fits into your everyday life. So that is our approach to resolving. Sorry, those are the links I'm going to share with you guys to resolving this kind of gap in technology and use case. And so with that, I would like to introduce two different people very quickly to just share their experiences with actually trying this technology. Bridget, I'd love for you to maybe unmute yourself. Feel free to bring yourself on video if you feel comfortable. Bridget visited our lab recently with her son Ray. I was not able to be there, unfortunately, and her son had a chance to experience these. So, Bridget, feel free to share a little bit about your experience if you're still with us.
Sure, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. So we had the opportunity, my son and I, who's 20, flew out to San Diego to the Innovega lab, and he was able to try the newest prototype, I guess, of the smart glasses. They were hot off the airplane, no
Right.
wires. So we were the first ones, or he was the first one to be able to put them on his face and actually try them. I would say the experience overall was, very encouraging and very positive. We have tried kind of every available smart glass or kind of distance magnifier known to man at this point in his life. He has achromatopsia, which he saw his best corrected vision, just to give you some context, is 20 over 160. So I think a lot of their patients overall have had, when they've tried these, have been a little worse in vision than my son has. But as part of the experience, we were able to, he was able to do experiences that he found to be valid and wanted to investigate. So he looked at, blackboard with different letter sizes at a distance. He attends college, so obviously being able to see a board would be relevant to him and his age group. Also experiences of looking at his laptop, being able to look at an Excel spreadsheet, what does the magnification function look like in real time, as well as reading a book. And I guess kind of the most exciting one, he's currently a bioptic driver, so he drives with a 4-power Occutech scope. And we were able to go in a car with these Innovega glasses, and he was actually he didn't drive obviously with them, but he was in the passenger seat, and he was able to spot, using signs and looking to see what that looks like comparatively for him, since he currently drives with a bioptic. What do these Innovega glasses offer that could be useful kind of in the future? So that was an interesting experience as well, having him, being able to actually recognize stoplights and stop signs and road signs at a further distance than he's currently able to with his bioptic, now that he drives actively with. We found overall the Innovega folks were very receptive. Obviously, we had a lot of feedback to provide from our end, specific to folks, affected with achromatopsia, that would be helpful for features kind of moving forward. And I think overall, we're excited with, the possibility of what Innovega delivers moving forward.
Thank you so much, Bridget. That was beautiful, and it's nice to meet you again. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to meet you and Ray the other day. And as Bridget shared, like, we're doing our best right now to bring in a variety of different conditions so that we can get feedback, right? So we don't have the final product yet. There's still time to improve and optimize it in order for it to be as functional as possible. And just so those of you who are a little unfamiliar with where we're at in our journey right now, we are now taking pre-orders for the product. And what that does is that puts you into our founders community. And once you're in our founders community, we want your feedback in the development of this product. So we're hosting webinars. So we bring in our low vision founders to give us ideas and feedback, for example, on the app development. Someone was asking they need to be easy to use. We're integrating our founders community into the development of all aspects of it so that by the time it gets in your hands, which is likely to be in the second quarter of next year, you've had a chance to be a part of the development process so it's as beneficial as possible for you, from everything from how you use it to how it works. I'd like to bring another guest on, and I don't know, Bridget, if you're able to stick around for the end, because people might have some questions for you at the end. It's totally up to you. But I'd like to bring one more guest on right now, is a guy named Isaac. Isaac, if you're here, are you here, Isaac, by any chance, before I do a full introduction of you? Okay, Isaac looks like maybe he's not here. So we'll move on until Isaac comes on. But maybe this is a great time to just take some questions from what people saw, and if there's anything that was not clear in terms of how these work, or anything else that you'd like to kind of know, dive in. Feel free to put in the chat again, or just jump right on the call. Would love to have a quick discussion for where everyone's at right now.
Yeah, how easy are they to use? Like, do you gotta get trained on them or anything, or is pretty much basic?
Yeah, so all of the above. We're developing this to be as easy to use as possible. That's why you'll be able to control them through your phone or just through the glasses themselves. We're still in the process of developing the software app and the user interface. So again, we're integrating many low vision users to provide to develop the easiest to use application that's out there. We'll also be providing you with a ton of resources that'll be in your hands before you get the glasses, tutorial videos, instruction manuals. But again, if no one can figure out how to use them, no one's going to benefit from them. So ease of use is a huge priority for us, for this community to be actually functional. Um, did you?
Now, yeah, well, you said you plug it into your phone. So does it always got to be plugged into your phone, or is that just for a charging method, or?
Yeah, so just to clarify, so for this first generation, there is a tethering cord that will always need to be plugged in if you want to utilize the displays. And that is to, yeah, give them the maximum battery. Because there's a live video feedback, it takes a lot of processing power. So we do provide that external battery. So I think it's up to 3.5 or 4 running hours every day. And so for most people, they just need to turn them on when they utilize them. So 4 hours of running time is more than enough to get through the day.
Yeah.
Nick, I see your hands up. Did you want to?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, thanks for the presentation so far. I have a couple questions, but I'll start with just one right now. Um, in terms of folks who have differing levels of vision in their eyes, or maybe they have one eye that's more dominant than other, I know this is something I've encountered even just using like regular binoculars for outdoor activities and things, is that sometimes I have my left eye is more dominant, and so I have a tendency to maybe just favor that eye, and sometimes I get like almost a parallax effect. And I could see that being a real issue with something like this. It's something I've experienced with like 3D glasses and even like messing around with Apple Vision Pro. How is Innovega approaching that? And have you had tests with people with just like maybe one good eye or one eye that's significantly better than the other? Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Nick. And I think we've got time for you to ask your follow-up questions as well. If I want to make sure we address everything. So the one thing to note, the Apple Vision Pro and many of those kind of uh, not ocular, what are they called? VR style headsets it's a completely different experience because that you disappear into it and you're only in it. So this you don't disappear from the real world at all. Most people have one eye better than the other, right? So the first step people can take is prescription lenses, which are maybe different for each eye. So what we're building actually integrates with your prescription lenses or contact lenses if you wear them. So we give you these clip-in frames you can take to your optometrist to have lenses cut. So if you do have, for example, a prescription on each eye that's different, you can integrate these with these glasses very easily. So I mean that's kind of the first thing in terms of, being able to absorb some difference in insight. But it seems like you've got a follow-up question.
Sorry, it's my follow-up question's unrelated. That's a fair answer for now. My follow-up question was related to the startup time. You said it has 3 or 4 hours of runtime on battery. So let's say I'm walking down the street and I decide I want to activate the frame. From the time I hit the button, what's the like latency time until I have a in-focus image in the in-frame lens or in the in-frame display?
I can't answer that because it's not finalized yet. Our engineering team will be able to tell you a specific answer as we move closer to launch, but I would not think it's going to be, very long at all.
Less than 5 seconds? Less than a second?
I will definitely guess less than 5 seconds, but I
Okay,
don't know. You can't quote me. I
sure.
don't know the answer to that.
That's fair. Okay, thank you.
But again, we'll be keeping everyone updated on all of this. And again, ease of use and functionality is our priority, Nick. So that's a great question. I don't have that answer at this point in time, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Joseph, go for it.
Yeah, so I can't drive because my vision's bad, like so bad. With these, would I be able to drive, or like you still can't drive?
So that's a layered question because
Okay.
from a functionality standpoint, we've had people come in that have recently had to give up their driving, low vision users come in who have had to give up their driving licenses. They've tried the glasses and they've exclaimed, with these, I could drive. So it doesn't mean everybody can, but some people would be able to regain the abilities to drive safer. But on the other hand, there's legalities to consider. So there's local driving laws regarding, digital aids, and they're not very well developed or established at this point. So it's going to depend on how the digital, driving aids, if you will, legalities develop over time in your local area. That's why we can't say for sure you'd be allowed to or not. There is a good chance you may benefit from them, but it depends on how the laws, treat stuff like this.
Yeah, it's just because that's like my main problem. I'll pay $20,000 if I could drive, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend $5,000 if I can't even drive.
Right. No, totally understandable. And that's where it is right now. But again, as more of these come out, the laws will be needing to adjust because it's kind of the way of the future.
Joseph, I have a suggestion on your user interface that you have your one of your software guys develop some kind of a simulation that you can send out to your prospective users so they can play around with the user interface and give you real time, real close feedback on things that may be needed, because you got such a wide variety of different vision issues you're trying to address. It'd be great to put something out there, just like a simulator, so that people could try the user interface out before they have to wait until they get the glasses and then go, oh, wow, this is really difficult.
Oh,
Right. No, I appreciate that, Randy. And Randy and Nancy are part of our founders community. So I think there's a great chance that we can move that through Randy and have our founders be able to experiment with it and provide some feedback. That's a great idea. And I'll absolutely bring that back to the engineering team.
Another thing I was wondering is it any possibility for you to have some kind of a developer's kit or development kit that you could put out for people to do some additional development on this on their own to address specific issues, and kind of like more or less an open source type of arrangement.
Yeah, let me talk to Arthur. I'll see what's possible. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll let you know whatever he says at this point and what his thoughts are moving forwards. But absolutely appreciate that, and I'll get back to you on that.
All right, thanks.
I saw a hand from Tamer. Tamer, was that a go for it?
Yeah, Joseph, thanks, man. Just for all on the core development side, and two comments I wanted to publish and maybe comment on. I think Nick, the thing for you to mind is
I don't know if it's for me or everyone, but you're kind of cutting out a little bit there, Tamer. We can barely hear you.
Tamer, we
Can
can't
you hear me right now?
We can hear you now for a bit, but you're really
Real
spotty.
choppy. Yep.
All right, I hope this works. So our CTO is ex-Apple product, Nick, and he's got an eye on ensuring that professionalism and quality extends to people that need it the most. The latency, I would expect, a follow-up discussion, make sure we get back to you on it. But you can expect best read. I mean, that's the output, right? Nobody's commenting on quality, just population.
Tamer, you're not really too much better. So it's maybe put it in the chat unless you can fix your connection.
You got it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna ending once again. I think putting the hand up is a great thing. There's also a bunch of questions in the chat which I'm gonna address. But if anyone wants to speak, just put your hand up with the Zoom functionality, and would love to call on you.
Joseph, I have to beg out here. Is there anything else I can do to be of assistance today?
Does anyone have any questions for Bridget, real quick? Anyone have any questions for Bridget, her son's rays experience?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, go for it, Marwan. If Bridget, you have 1 second, 1 minute?
Sure.
Okay, go for it, Marwan.
You said that your son had like really bad vision. I think my vision's quite similar. So and like for example, like low light was really difficult for me. So with the glasses, was it easier for him to, for example, like recognize faces, walk around independently, like be able to see things a bit more clearly and stuff like that?
Yeah, so his best corrected is 20/160. So I don't know if that's kind of consistent with what you have or not. So close up, he has very good vision. It's just far away, he has very poor vision. So for him, he can see somebody sitting across the room, but if it gets much further than that, he can't recognize details in faces and things of that nature. So what his kind of experience was that, yes, the glasses indeed, he was able to control the zoom, he was able to control the magnification part of that. There were kind of some stability issues with the glasses. Obviously, the software is very new when we tried it out. So hopefully, that will be kind of worked out in the wash when Innovega, works on the app and works continuing to improve the software. But yes, overall, it was a positive experience in terms of the clarity and the zoom function to be able to help him see details at a distance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bridget. We appreciate you. Great question, Marwan. Okay, there's a ton of questions. So before I dive into them, I just want to explain a little bit for those who might have to jump off early, exactly what this Founder Series offer is. As many of you know, with digital, vision technologies, a lot of them are priced basically between $3,000 to $6,000. With our Founders offer right now, these are going to be available for $2,950, which is about $1,000 off what we expect them to be priced at. Again, that price is going up by $300 on July 1st. We are handling sales tax and shipping and everything for you. So that is a flat fee of $2,950. If you need or could benefit from, say, a 6-month payment plan, I do encourage you to just reach out to our team and we can see if we can do that for you. The best place to get a hold of us is to email us at social@innovega.io. Or if in the chat right now, I put 3 links. Okay, so everyone might want to click on those just so they don't disappear. One's called the Founder Series pre-order page. There's a ton of information there to learn more and some more videos and FAQs. There's a schedule a call link. So if we don't have a chance to address your questions sufficiently over the next 20, 30 minutes, you can book a one-on-one call with the senior member of our team, and have a good conversation with them about your specific kind of concerns, to get some more clarity. And then again, that video that I showed at the beginning, I put it in the chat. Hold on a second here. I put it in the chat, and there is a narration in that video. So I do encourage you to click those links right now just before they disappear. Okay, so I'm going to go through again, there's tons of questions in the chat. I'll do my best to address everybody's efficiently. I respect everyone's time. So if you do need to jump, no worries. And again, if you want to get a hold of me specifically, you can email social@innovega.io and I will get back to you. Okay, Samsung says, thinking about current cell phone policies, will there be a trade-in program in the future? Will there be insurance as far as damage or theft? So we will have a standard, I believe it's going to be a 1-year warranty if there's any issues with the product. We are building these with a world-class manufacturer called Quanta Computer. They build the highest quality smartphones. So the reason we're taking so long to go to market with these is because we're building them to be like iPhones, where you can drop them and they'll still be fully functional. In terms of the cell phones, this is a good time to talk about the cell phone. So, we have a lot of developers on our team from Apple. We love Apple, but Apple's iOS environment is not fully welcoming of all software applications at this time. So what we're going to do, because we won't be integrating with Apple right off the bat, we're going to be giving everybody an Android smartphone just to make sure that you can utilize these right away. We also, because this is going to be brand new, we're just not exactly sure which Android smartphones will integrate seamlessly. So to avoid any issues in this first launch, we're just giving everyone a brand new phone that we know will work very well with these. As we move forwards, we'll better understand the phone models that will integrate with these, so you don't need necessarily 2 phones. And we're hoping to integrate with Apple iPhones as well, moving forwards with future launches. Again, Samsung, if there's anything unclear in that, feel free to put your hand up or ask a follow-up question. Go for it, Nick.
Forgive me if I'm editorializing for whoever asked the question, but the way I interpreted it is I think they were asking it, and I think this is a valid point about, let's say you have a Gen 1, say I join now, I buy the Gen 1, and then in 2 years, you come out with a product that's way faster, way more user-friendly. Is there going to be any kind of option for like a trade-in? Like, hey, I was an early adopter, and now there's a new one. Do I need to fork over the $5,000 again? Or can I trade in my old device similar to like a cell phone plan and get the latest one so I'm not missing out on that technology?
Great. So in terms of like software updates, it's going to be like a phone where the software updates will flow directly to your, your hardware glasses. So you will get updates, constantly. And again, we're just launching our first one. So anything I say now is speculative. But I would think, every once in a while, every several years or something, there will be hardware upgrades. There is no current program in terms of what discount you would get to upgrade if you wanted to. But I would think that there will be something like that built in. But again, none of that's been decided. The most important thing at this point is just to know that as upgrades become available, it is all software at this point. Your existing glasses will get those upgrades as we launch them. Okay, I'm going to move on, Nick. Again, if that's not a sufficient answer, if that missed the mark for you, feel free to clarify. Okay, great. Thank you. Julie asks, I've tried to join the founders community, but every attempt to register failed. Julie, what do you mean by attempt to register? Does that mean attempt to purchase the glasses? Pre-order? If you're here? Julie, you're on mute. Let me see. Yes. Julie, I would say please schedule a call with our team. Anyone from around the world is able and has been pre-ordering. So um, I would say feel free to use that link to schedule a call, and we can just go through the payment checkout process with you. I can also check our back end to see if we understand the reason it's failed. Sometimes it's an incorrect, security code or something like that. But there should be no reason why you're not able to facilitate a checkout. And I know you want a secure one, so I'll make sure we follow up with you. But yeah, I would say try to book a call, and I'll do our best to follow up with you just to identify what's the blockage and how to resolve that. And thank you for your interest in joining us. We'd love to have you. Oh my goodness, so many questions. This is fantastic, you guys. Again, we're gonna go over time, so I will try to go quickly. But I think this is a good format for getting through everyone. Um, okay, back to Julie. Sorry. Joseph said, I can't drive. I think we addressed that. May I be a clinical trial participant in a glaucoma? Would love to purchase. So Zoom user, there is an opportunity to apply for in-person demonstrations. The link is innovega.io/demo. At this point, there are not a lot of actual opportunities to do so. I would say about 1 in 100 people who are applying right now actually get in, and that's just a capacity issue. There's five clinicians around every single person who comes in. The demos at this point are really engineering based for product improvements, but as we are getting more and more functional, functioning prototypes back from our manufacturer, we are hoping to get more demo opportunities available in the latter half of this year. But again, we'll be prioritizing those for our founders community. So you're welcome to apply to be a clinical trial participant. I just the chances of getting selected are very low, and it's in the hands of our clinicians who are choosing a variety of conditions to try to get as much information as possible. Um, so yeah. And then does it come with its own device or you use your phone? I think we discussed that briefly as well. Steven asked, how far is the screen when viewing it? I need to hold things very close. Will it be a movable distance? I've struggled with VR and XR glasses with this. So again, the screen kind of floats in front of you, and that's been because of that, it appears it's about 6 feet away. But and which is actually a benefit because when there's display screens right on the glasses themselves, for example, that's when issues like myopia start to happen when you're constantly trying to focus on something very close to you. So it's actually a safe distance for working well with the muscular nature of your eyesight to not cause long-term issues. In terms of VR, many people struggle with VR, especially those with vision loss to get their groundings, and that's why this is not a VR device at all. We don't want you to disappear into the settings. We want you to stay in the real world where you are. Um, And in terms of needing to hold things close, again, like one of the reasons we built this is like we've had someone in here, I think it was Joseph, said he was struggling in the classroom, right? So people are sitting in the classroom, they're trying to read the board, they can't see it. So a lot of students or a lot of adults will take photos of something, and I think Aaron was talking about this. Zoom really close into it, then look at it like this. So that functionality is really like we're trying to replicate that in a much easier way to do it for both students or professors, for example, who need to see the board. So rather than go through that phone process, you can just turn the displays on, magnify them. So you now have a magnified view of whatever it is trying to look at. You don't have to move, you don't have to change, you don't have to hold anything. So that kind of functionality is something that we have tried to build in an effective way that serves you well. Um, Whether or not you do have issues with the setup, we won't know for sure, but many people have had positive experiences with the way we've configured that kind of functionality. Musab, just to clarify, is the commercial launch the one expected to be ready in Q2 next year? Yes, that is the timeline for the Founder Series. So our commercial launch is the launch of our Founder Series, Musab. Sorry if that was not clear. Originally, Founder Series members were hoping to get it by the end of this year, but there have been some manufacturing deadline shifts, and that's just simply to go through all of the various quality control procedures. Again, we're not taking any shortcuts. So that timeline did shift. Musab, thank you for your attention to detail. Let me know if still is anything unclear in terms of deliverables or timelines. Joe had a budget for quiz, or Joe had a question for Bridget. Joe, I'm sorry we didn't have a chance to get that in time. Are the glasses self-correcting based on prior settings? John, were you trying to say something to the group?
No.
No, okay. Are the glasses self-correcting based on prior settings or memory of the glasses? Um, no, there's an auto focus setting if you want it. A lot of people that we found with demos prefer to just keep it off because sometimes with autofocus, even on a phone or something, it's not really doing what you want it to do, but there is one. In terms of settings, again, I have to be careful. I don't know the final engineering makeup of the phone. They may be building in some preset settings. Those may be customizable. I don't know. From what I've experienced and for what I've seen, you adjust the settings as needed. For whatever your use case is in that moment. Um, but again, I'm not sure. That's actually probably a great question to bring back to our engineering team and say, there's certain things in certain environments I do quite regularly. I would love a one-click, setting adjustments to arrive at the optimal settings for that. So that I think that makes sense to me. I'll bring that back to our team. They may already be thinking about it, and I can get back with you with more details. Great question. Jane says, I'm having a hard time discerning real differences between these and the X-Real Pro glasses with a camera added and a phone with the Zoom app. I don't know too much about the X-Real Pro glasses. I remember looking into it once and they were not the same as what we're doing at all. But I can't remember all of the details. So again, Jane, maybe if you want to send me a quick email to social@innovega.io, I can do some research and get back to you on that. My apologies, I don't have more information about those right now. Aaron says, I'm so excited about the Founder Series and pre-order on day one. Thank you, Aaron. Is there a more detailed ETA we'll be getting out to the Founders pre-order community? That is now Q2 2027. Again, those dates may shift, but that is what we're hoping to deliver them to you by. Aaron, will appreciate you being part of our community, and we're hoping to stay in touch with you as we move towards that. If you pre-order the glasses and they don't work for you, can you return them? Yes, you can. So everyone has about 30 days. Once you get them in your hands, we'll give you all the resources. We'll give you plenty of time to maximize your chances of finding benefit from them. If they are not beneficial for you, you can return them for a full refund. Again, within that 30 days of when you receive them. Some people have asked, well, what if is it by the time you ship them? What if I don't get them? We're super reasonable about this. So it's like, it's by the time you actually have them in your hands. And if it's day 31, don't tell anyone, but we're not gonna hold that against you. Greg says, if you have no central vision, only peripheral, how will these glasses work with that issue? Surprisingly, Greg, the people that have central loss have found this to be the most effective. A lot of people with macular degeneration is based on central vision loss. And just because of the way the screens are different than your regular vision, they've been able to really utilize the screens well using their peripheral vision. If you have zero central vision, again, depending on the severity, like what do you use? If you're comfortable sharing that you find beneficial, are there any tools or tactics that you use that you find benefit from? You feel free to share right now if you're still on the call. Which would and that's the best way to determine if these will be effective for you.
So it's actually for my son who has cone dystrophy, and so he's in the latter stages of he's at 2200 in one eye and probably 2100 in the other eye. And so we're just going through the early stages. That's why I mentioned we've tried the Envision ones, but those are more AI delayed. And that's what we're trying to see is if he can wear these, will his peripheral grab that scene in front of him?
I appreciate you sharing. Does he use anything currently that he does find helpful, like even basic tools such as magnifiers or his phone or anything? Is there anything he finds helpful?
He does use his phone. We're really about a year into this, so it's new for us. He's very young, and so we're learning as we go through all this. But phone right now, but like everyone has said, he has to push that phone way up to his face. It's hard at work to look at screens, so that's what we're trying to find something that can identify his environment, but also can utilize what he's seeing on the screen for work.
No, I appreciate you sharing. So, I mean, the fact that he's able to use that kind of phone magnification is a good sign that we might be able to provide some benefit for him. 2100 is quite a severe impairment, and that's why we're doing more demos to find out more about the visual acuities that we can assist and those that may not benefit from them. So, I don't have a clear answer for you whether or not these would be right for him. But we are working hard to try to make them as beneficial as possible. So, Greg, I encourage you again. You can book a one-on-one call if you want to dive a little deeper. But we'll probably be learning more as we continue on this journey. Aaron, is there any way we can go to your office and try the glasses like Miriam did? I think we kind of addressed the demo application process and some of the nuances around that. Tamer's got some great comments in there. Tamer's a excellent member of our team. So I encourage everyone to read Tamer's comments, and I think he's put his email in there as well if you want to reach out to him personally to have a deeper conversation. Joe asked, do these glasses alone replace my current prescription? If not, how do I get my prescription into these lenses? Keep in mind, some of us have thick lenses. So again, Joe, we did briefly mention this earlier in the call. The glasses come with clip-in frames that can absorb your prescription lenses. So you can take those frames to your optometrist and they can cut your prescription lenses that will clip in very easily. You can also wear contact lenses with these glasses. So we have built these to integrate with your existing prescriptions. I'm willing to travel to San Diego and have cash on hand for the product. So again, we're not allowing anyone to just come in and buy it. It doesn't work like that right now. These are pre-orders. I do encourage you, Zoom user, to use the link. I'll put it in the chat one more time for our Founder Series pre-order. And then that'll give you the best opportunity to have an in-person demo experience. But if you're really interested to come, you can go to innovega.io/demo and put your name on the list, and you might have a chance to come in depending on the needs of our clinical team. I know it's a little convoluted, but it's a new product we're just launching, and we're just there's a capacity constraints in terms of bringing people in, and we know everyone wants to, so we apologize for that, but we're doing our best to bring these forwards. Samsung, if you are focused on something up close, then look into the distance. You have to readjust the glasses, or do they self-adjust? I think So if you're using, for example, the display screens and you're zoomed in on something, um, you can still see your environment. So you can choose to focus on what you're zoomed in on, or you can choose to focus on something that is, behind the displays or to the side of displays. You can still see through them. So I wouldn't say the glasses self-adjust just based on your eye movement. That's not a feature at this point. But you always have everything still available to you. Sorry, go for it if someone was trying to say something. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Randy and Nancy, I would suggest having two cameras for stereo 3D presentation. One of the biggest issues Nancy has is depth perception. This seems like one camera will not be able to help in this regard. Yeah, that's a great point, Randy and Nancy. I know that one thing is from an engineering consideration, there's a ton of electronics already. And in a pair of glasses, there's not is basically a big computer, a tiny computer on your head. So adding a secondary camera, like on a phone, for example, would take a lot of engineering. It might be a development in the future. It definitely won't be in our first generation. But again, Randy, like appreciate your recommendations because I think all of your insights can go into our development plans moving forwards. And again, Randy, if you want to send me an email with all of this stuff you're suggesting, please do as well. That'll make sure that, I don't forget anything when I reach out to Arthur and the team. So I'll do my best, but if you had an email for you, that'll help as well. Sam Barnes, will these work with degenerative myopia? Again, Sam, I'm not familiar with degenerative myopia, and what we've learned is it's not it's not super effective for us to say these work with this condition or that condition and not with this condition or that condition. It's more what's the reality of your day-to-day tools and tactics that you find beneficial. How much usable vision do you still have and what do you do with it? So if you're able to use some tools for magnification, if you do like brightness adjustment helps you, if contrast and edge detection, a little bit of, enhancements are able to help you see better, there's a huge chance that these will be beneficial as well. Some people come to us and they say, all I see is a blur. No matter what I try, all I see is a blur or I don't see anything at all. Will these help me? And the answer is no. These won't. These don't provide any medical benefits. It's only, technology that can assist to make what you can see better and more accessible. Um, Stephen dropped off. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you being here. We're at the bottom. Julie says, I have only one eye but see depth fine. And then Randy Nancy said, can you provide the direct email for the head guy that selects candidates? It's me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Randy, just send me an email, Randy, with everything on your mind, and I'll appreciate you guys always being here. And however I can support you in any way, I'll absolutely speak on your behalf. Sam Barnes says dark mode and zoom functions help me in a big way. Fantastic, Sam. I think that these have a good chance of assisting you and providing benefit in your daily life. 10:02, we did pretty good. That's all the questions in the chat. I'm gonna put the links one more time in the chat and leave them up for a couple minutes. Link to the Founder Series pre-order page where you can get more information. Schedule a call with a member of our team if you want to dive a little deeper before you make a decision. You got 5 or 6 days left to get the lowest possible pricing. And then there's again that video how they work to figure out if they're going to be beneficial for you. Last chance for anyone to raise their hand, put something in the chat that maybe we can help you with. But I really appreciate everyone being here. A ton of newcomers today, so thank you guys so much. I hope this was beneficial, and I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. But yeah. Samsung says, how does moving the image help? Can you help me understand what it is you're getting at with your question? Feel free to unmute and come on if it's easier. Sorry, Samsung, I'm just not understanding how does moving the image help the question? Moving the image. So just I encourage you to watch the video, the how they work to better understand again what the functionality of these is. Julie, thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. I will let our team know that you're having payment issues and to deal with that on your call with them. Marwan asked, did you say there is a delay with the glasses when using them? I did not say that. From what I've heard in terms of the image processing latency. I just had a conversation. It's still being finalized, but it's something like 200 milliseconds or something, so as close to real time as possible. I think that addresses that. But I did not say there's a delay when using them. I read that the image on the display can be moved. The display screens do not move, and their positioning of the displays does not move currently. Samsung. I th I think Randy says the thing he's missing is the enhancements to what the camera sees. I feel like because he just reiterated he thought that the image on the display could be moved. Again, a picture is 1,000 words, a video is probably 1,000,000. So I encourage you to click the link on how they work video. That best describes how they function. The display's positioning does not move. You are able to adjust what's in that display and the kind of magnification of what you're looking at. Mark asks, I may miss the answer. When will the glasses be available and will it be in South Africa? Yes, Mark, you can pre-order from South Africa to join our founders community right now. They will be shipped ideally by Q2 2027. That is our best estimate right now. I do encourage you to click on the Founder Series link in the chat to get more answers exactly like that. There's a ton of answers right on that page. Jay Har asks, so the phone is a functioning cell. I had tried i5 with a cell, but it was not functional as a phone, software and battery only. If it's up to you if you want to add a cell phone plan to the phones that we're providing. And moving forwards, again, we'll be able to kind of support this. But as of now, it's a phone that can function as your primary cell phone if you want, but it's up to you to get a cellular plan for it. We may be developing some partnerships with cellular companies moving forwards, but none of those are in place at this point. Okay, everyone, appreciate you so much. Stay in touch. We do hold lots of webinars like this moving forwards. If you're not on our mailing list, I encourage you to email us. I'm going to put it in the chat at social@innovega.io. I'm going to put all the rest of the links in the chat one more time. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. And we'll leave this up for a few minutes and have a fantastic weekend.